Little do they know, my dollar had more power.
A powerful man, well dressed to the teeth, and now, of course, Cloud9 and Virtus.Pro on screens, folks. So thanks for tuning in to the main stream. Of course, there's 3 streams going on all at the same time. We're sure to keep you guys updating on the matchups, but it's Mirage once again. This is where me and you just came off of with that Space Soldiers versus an IP match. It looked like a bit of a blowout, but it ended up being a close one. This, however, is one of the victims of a blowout. Virtus.Pro now being tested a second time tonight, and they are going to just test this B site incredibly quickly. They've already thrown themselves out through the windows. Nice little 2-piece smoke down as well, but the kills come the way of Cloud9. It's Flusha and Automatic with those first 2, and Automatic actually gets snubbed out by Pasha. Still, the CT's trying to encapsulate the bomb site, and now that bomb has gone down, but as has Mihu. So it will be the man advantage for Cloud9 on the retake. Player up from Catwalk actually comes in a little early. Nobody was there to trade him, but luckily, it is still cut down to the 1v1. They could still finish this off, but a single shot is all it takes either way. Beautiful headshot from Rush, nice pistol round clutch, and that's what you want on this CT side.
That's something you can always count on Rush for, stay 100% concentrated no matter what the circumstances, and even though he got rocked there by that one headshot, moving over to the side, it was fully well aware of the fact that a repeak might come in, and being out in the open and having someone peek you and being low HP, all those things can put someone off kilter, but he stayed 100% ready, you know, the entire time. And he also picked up that kill on the player crossing window. And just as you mentioned, we saw Golden out in the open on Cat, and he thought, wow, he's alone right now, and his teammates aren't set on retaking the site. They should probably be out there with him, and that's probably true. You know, he got out far enough that there was no going back. If he gets peeked, he's gonna have to fight. But now we're into round 2, we can kind of forget about that. Snatchy's going full force into A.
Yeah, talking about having to fight. I mean, he's got fire behind him, 2 opponents ahead, and Mihu gets in here just to help out with the process. A rather clean-cut process coming in from Virtus.Pro.
What a buy. It seemed like they had the economical disadvantage going into the round, but because they went full frontal with these 2 AKs and pushed their way into A, I mean, all Cloud9 saw were rifles that round.
Yep, beautiful. Excellent buy, excellent upset. They just took back all the momentum they could have hoped for. That one kind of leaves you breathless.
Yeah, a little bit speechless for sure. Round 3, well, we have the conversion back. Cloud9 obviously going to be tempted to buy to try to steal back the momentum. In situations like this, when teams lose the second round, it seems like a tilt to go and try to buy back when you have such low money, but there's always the prospect of catching the other team also having not the best buy ever. And there is definitely great value if Cloud9 are able to steal this one. So the economic game of chicken is what we're witnessing. And Virtus.Pro are going to be aware at this point, hearing that scout go off, that Cloud9 have bought to 0. But mid-control is a great place to go when teams are low on utility. They're pressing that advantage, throwing their own smokes, retaining control of this part of the map. At a minute 20, they've got a lot of options.
They've got that apps player coming forward for Virtus.Pro. They've got catwalk control in their hands, a 2-player connector push a possibility. The only place that they've actually given up the map control is by choice over on A. The retreat from the Palace player who has to go get bombed, but oh no, please not like this. They've already lost Snatchy over towards the B site, and that bomb will have to come back towards A. So sure enough, greatly done from Virtus.Pro. They do sell that fake. They get the entirety of Cloud9 rotating preemptively, and because of that, now that Virtus.Pro are committing to the A site, the defense is just out of line. The smoke's in their faces, and the inability to really contest, except for Rush, who would have had a chance at the flank. He's still in a great position, but he's got to reload, and the timing not going to play to his favor. 2 kills quickly back for Virtus.Pro into the 3v2. Scout still in play, and that's not the best weapon for a retake now, is it? Flusha on the site with a kit, 2 kills for him, but nobody's going to overface. Nobody wants to be that 3rd casualty for Virtus.Pro.
Slight bit more damage done at the end there, but Virtus.Pro cleaned it up, and there were so many great things that they did that round. I mean, even after they lost the first player, and it seemed like, all right, this is another round where the team who has the firepower advantage just completely fluffs it, but they went ahead and pushed into connectors so quickly that Cloud9 couldn't make that gamble rotate to A fast enough, meaning that there was one player who got isolated, and they took a couple of risks, but they pushed in fast, and also Rush at A ramp. You know, when he was reloading a CZ, they just went ahead and double peeked him.
Yep.
That wasn't their part of the map, but that's the aggression that makes Virtus.Pro who they are, and I really like to see this kind of really decisive movement.
Very decisive kills as well coming into the 4th one.
It was supposed to be the fast mid clash, and fast it was. Clash not so much, a little one-sided. Still 2 kills though. You know, a little softening damage here versus VP, but they will be fine as we get back into the next buy.
Yeah, and speaking about clashes, Kalashnikov's out in full effect. Up on Snatchy, and we've finally got our feet planted on the ground. Virtus.Pro don't have to think about trying to collect all of those big dollars from SMGs. Instead, they can think about going up against Cloud9 on a rifle round. 2 teams on equal footing. Virtus.Pro slight advantage, and the immediate A hit to come out.
It's going to be a quick one once more. Snatchy leads the charge with an AWP. Now Rush is going to deal with Moros, who just quickly falls down from the Palace. A little disjointedness from him and Mihu. A third one for Rush. A single-handed defense coming in from beneath the Palace. Finally taken down by the AWPer, who falls just quickly right after. So nice attempt, sure. VP, they want to take that quick charge, but nobody dealt with Rush.
Yeah.
No Molotov underneath. Snatchy was so fixated with that AWP that he's not doing any support nades for the players falling down.
Yeah, and that Molotov has never been easier to throw. There's ways to do it once you're up a ramp, as Snatchy was leading, and there's also a way that you can throw it running from Palace now that they added a groove into the wall, but they Virtus.Pro did not use that, which is kind of interesting, and that allowed Rush to flourish. I mean, he still got those 3 kills as one-on-ones straight up. Like, he had a 50% chance of losing each of those duels, especially after he was spotted. But even still, they should have been able to trade, and they definitely should have used their utility. Now we are into another rifle round as Cloud9 have earned their way back into this game, and Virtus.Pro have their eyes set on what looks like a late mid control, but the bomb station at top mid doesn't tell you exactly what site that they have postured to try to hit. They might be playing it by ear at the moment in their default. Initial flash goes out to mid, and Pasha's going to go ahead and complement that with a connector smoke. Golden being in the middle of these 2 is super important, because now that smoke is thrown as a cancel, Cloud9 still aren't denied the information completely, right? There isn't someone who's going to potentially sneak up into here, and he can tell his team that.
Oh, Golden, very aggressive. Just wants to be thrown out into mid, tries to duel, but will fall to the man at the top. So now Pasha's got a little bit more space to work with. He's waiting for the smoke to fade, but it doesn't look like he's going to be challenged to anything further. Think that the connector players and even those towards Cat would just kernel up on the bomb sites. They're not going to be able to go for a rotate and a pure total gamble stack, but with 30 seconds, you know that bomb and execution are inbound. It is an inevitability. And Rush, inevitably, will make contact on ramp. And this is a position that could catch him off guard. You could see Snatchy trying to clear the corner, but Rush with a slight off angle will get the best of him. And now this is a thorn in the side of his execution once again. Rush will fall after 2, but it leaves us in even ground. With the bomb going down in just the nick of time, Mihu covers cross, but the trajectory of the Molotov tells him they are here. And that burns Morals into the open. And then VP burn Cloud9. 2 kills immediately off of that utility, finding them in no man land, and taking, of course, a 4th.
Rush has looked like a human aimbot in this map so far, with his A-holds being all alone, getting 2-3 kills at a time. But just as you said, Virtus.Pro played that extremely well. You love the patience for Morals to get Molotovs out of position, but not immediately going for the wide swing, which would have been totally expected, and instead just having it push him out as far as he must go, and then finally going out after taking a little bit of damage. Just off-put Cloud9, who I think thought they had him dead to rights. Now Skadoodle from the top of the rails gets caught falling off. It's an eco round for Cloud9. And Virtus.Pro are in prime position to clean this up cleanly.
But they're going to pause, take a slight breather. And this does give a bit of a chance now for Cloud9 to throw a wrench in the works. You see that Cat player getting a little curious. You see Golden with eyes on window, in case he has to deny any kind of a boost. But once more, Virtus.Pro standing back. Pasha's been a key piece to this underpass to connector play. Also take note that bomb is currently down towards T-spawn, so they're not going to be able to pull the trigger on this one just yet. And that is buying time for the rotation. Despite Golden just being blasted by Snatchy, this now opens up the A site. Once more, we're going to get a chance here where VP could have gone B, but will look to just change direction. The old 1-2, the ruse, that's left Flusha completely stranded and all alone. Done and easy. Good anti-eco.
For those of you wondering, because that was just an eco round, Virtus.Pro played it quite I mean, they just played it quite patiently. They got all their kills while still standing at mid, so not even having to move directly into the bomb sites. And Snatchy, as now we're seeing in the replay, that's how he kind of got his, just catching and abusing all those rotations. But the spot that Flesha was playing, it's like you almost never see someone standing on that side of the pillar, and he was taking a bit of a gamble. If someone will come up cat, they'll immediately clear empty pillar because it's a stronger position to hold the site from. But now we're into another rifle round, so we have time to talk about it. Rush also kicking it off at a fiery pace.
Another one of those moments where Snatchy is supposed to be the player to just charge out a ramp. What do you feel about that? An aggressive opper out ramp now twice in the first 8 rounds.
I think that's the Virtus.Pro way, and although this is a game of probabilities, I think that stylistically that's something that Virtus.Pro feel like they need to do, I think, to get started. And I like that they're going off the momentum that we've seen in these past 2 rounds where they have had a high pace.
What I find difficult about it, however, is that we've seen this consistency from Cloud9 and playing players underneath the balcony. And I feel like that's one of the hardest counters to the op walking out from ramp, because you need to be fully exposed to the entirety of the open, to the stairs peak, to site, and you're just so fixated on what is a very tight and narrow headshot angle.
Yeah,
so
Rush does have the bricks to abuse, as you're saying, so it's a harder shot for the op to hit than the guy from under balcony, but it depends if Snatchy's like, you know, I have the confidence I'm going to get this kill. I know where Rush is playing this round is another thought potentially.
Yep. But
yeah, it is also a huge amount of value to lose this early on. And as you can see, Cloud9's converted the second off already and have the 5v4.
So off the flashes, it's going to be the full straight up B commitment. All 4 players coming out now from the apps, taking damage with frags and bullets alike. Automatic falls, Mihu with a double. And he has statistically been one of the best players in this newest iteration of Virtus.Pro. We look at the newest additions in the form of Snatchy and Morals, but Mihu's already starting to prove himself as a key piece to this core.
I think Golden just hit a really nice shot. We can only see it on the X-ray. It appeared that someone was clipped out of the sky.
Let's see if he gets himself another, because this is 2 snipers walking up. I think that's why it's a slower pace being set. They have lost the rifleman. A second goes down. Neo coming in quickly from the archway. A flawless hold there once the first kill's found from Golden. 6 for Virtus.Pro. This T-side really coming together for them.
Easily one of the most powerful positions for a player to float to in a afterplant situation. It's kind of an expected position for people to be in, but there are so many uses for it. And there we go. We get to watch that extremely nice frag go to waste in this round as Neo cleans up in the afterplant situation. But there are so many options you can use with that pillar that is, again, completely impenetrable. So playing the left side or the right side, being able to watch the window jump out or catch anybody even coming up cat from a kind of a favorable position are all strong ways to abuse Get Right.
Pistol round, a little bit of desperation from Cloud9 in the form of an underpass push. A process that was rushed. Snatchy gets automatic.
Snatchy knows where to look. He's getting multiple kills versus pistols with this off, which is kind of interesting. We're not seeing a ton of flicks from him either, which you don't have to remember a Snatchy flick to be able to say that he's a valuable player. If he's not having a flick for most of his frags and he's having a lot of impact, that just shows you that he's a smart opper.
Smart and very impactful. I feel like throughout the rise of AGO, he was most certainly their star. I mean, we saw Virtus.Pro's performance at the Major when Bialy was still in this lineup, and I would say that despite his absolute best efforts, Snatchy was not enough to make those games a win. But he definitely put up numbers. He's constantly finding impact, and now another. This is great. How often do you see an anti-eco like this with all the frags being fed to the opper?
Almost never, right? That's just and it's not exactly like favorable in terms of like how much you get per kill for him to be having these frags, but I think it's like so impressive that it overshadows those numbers. So Virtus.Pro come out with another one where they don't lose a player, and that's another risk you run if you have a rifle to get those kills, that they might end up actually dying. And now the rebuys are less than 1,000 as they just have to pick up some leftover grenades, and Virtus.Pro are starting to run away with this half so far.
2 rounds for Cloud9, neither of which consecutive. So reset right after winning pistol. They got a second dose of the medicine, 5 rounds deep. And they are back in with a bye. So speaking of Snatchy's opping, just to take note, we look at the op versus op scenario right now. Skadoodle is still without a frag, but he is now equipped with the cannon. And he's been given a chance. Mihu was just crossed over on the box, but nice timing with the utility here. This is good team play from Virtus.Pro in mid. Pasha once more being that lurk at the bottom. You'd love for Skadoodle to just present his face on a silver platter. The smoke and connector allows for him to elevate his own sight line, giving himself vision of catwalk. That now lets the top mid players move forward. Poor Skadoodle's just being pelted by grenades, not quite sure where to watch. The possibility of a boost could already be there, but it's only now coming in. And there it is. He's on the board. First frag versus Mihu. Automatic. He's distracted with the mid play, but there's a man just next to him.
Oh my god.
Pasha biceps caught by the trigger discipline. Punished for it. Snatchy at a clutch attempt with Morals now. Man down, but they're evening this pretty quickly. Sure enough, the bomb belongs to Cloud9, but let's see what the new kids on the block has to say about it. I don't think he anticipates this close position from Rush. Almost stops it.
Yeah, did his due diligence at least. Went to look for the frag, but man, full control goes too far.
Yeah, exactly, right?
You're
looking for a round-winning play.
Yeah, I mean, you always risk just like ending up in the FOV of another player if, like, depending on how far behind them you can get. And right there was just kind of like this right angle that he was trying to game, and maybe a little bit too hard. But there was probably a second there where Pasha decided to turn his gun, where maybe if he just stayed looking at him and Rush looked over, he'd still win the duel and wouldn't have looked that bad doing it. But but still, Pasha has been very important at mid. Him taking underpass and the way that he's approaching it is very standard. He's walking there, his teammates are waiting for him to throw the connector smoke to come up top mid, then they're smoking the window as he does a boost or tries to get connector control in response, and that's speeding up the round for Virtus.Pro in a way that Cloud9 need to not let happen. If they're throwing grenades underpass, if they're trying to kill him underpass by actually rushing it, those are all going to be ways that might work out quite well for Cloud9, and they'll leave Virtus.Pro a little bit confused in the mid round once they can't take mid so easily.
Still going to be Pasha middle, but he's coming at it from a different direction. Alone as well. And Flush up now with a double op setup. Him and Skadoodle equipped because of the one they retrieved. So Virtus.Pro's buy has come back to bite them.
Now, Pasha can lurk around mid, but his job gets a whole lot harder with teammates dead. The adjustment here in the 3v5 is for Virtus.Pro to come back to A. And I'd like to know if they're going to go with a high utility execute or if they're going to try to do some contact play. In situations like this, you know, you can never have too much utility. And so if you can get away with something that's a contact play, it makes sense to try to do some kind of walkout, especially if you know they might not be opping that spot. They did see Flusha over at B. Skadoodle, they don't have info on where he's playing. But now we're going to see how it plays out.
Golden, 2 from Golden. Bomb thrown out in the process. So Pasha's position revealed. And a 1 versus 5 clutch attempt for him. With no bomb possession, just does not look all too great. Now, this was my big question, right, with Cloud9 coming into the event, was how much how much is he going to get to do? What is he going to be doing? And I like that we're already starting to see him trying to be thrown into the double op setup. Like, that's a core element to a good CT side. It's a nice trick to have. And those were 2 beautiful shots.
He looked very confident.
Yeah.
The instant repeak. He could have died on that second repeak. He had to hit a little bit of a flick, but he committed and he delivered. And
one of the conversations we were having, you know, just on the sidelines before this event got started was sort of how Flusha is I'd say, a better fit to what Cloud9 need than, say, Stiko. I think Stiko's an incredible player in his own regards, but I don't think Stiko makes that play. I don't think Stiko repeaks that.
I don't think Stiko gets the keys to the op. I feel like
exactly.
If you know, coming in as a new guy on a team, you wouldn't actually expect them to ask for such liberties. I feel like, but having the confidence to do that when you know it's the correct thing to do is, I think, something that a player with the stature of Flusha might try to ask for. And in his position, I think that's exactly what maybe Cloud9 are looking for. Maybe that's why the stylistic differences became too much between them and Stiko. And the agency that Flusha is showing and delivering on it is looking really nice right now.
That's the second or third time now Skadoodle's position has been nullified by the flash, allowing for the first player to cross over into the boxes, which then is then followed up by what has been a flurry of utility, just forcing his feet even further back. Think about the way he was isolated in ladder room because of a Molotov and frag. This time, the moment he gives up that angle, he's gone. He's reeled back from catwalk. He realizes what would probably be the next piece of that mid-control puzzle. But Morals, despite having an excellent position, a very heads-up play coming out from Virtus.Pro, it's still denied. Automatic gets the best of him, takes damage back in return. 9 health the difference, but now he's swapped to the op.
You can see from the placements of the HEs on this round that Cloud9 were in tune with exactly what Virtus.Pro's plan was, throwing the nades in front of connector, throwing one into underpass. That kind of unfortunately landed on the lip by the wall and didn't do any damage, but Automatic, even the way that he just kind of crouch slid into that angle, knowing that a boost might be there waiting for him, just shows that this is what they have to deal with right now. A lot of mid presence from Virtus.Pro, and it's looking a lot better now for Cloud9.
Piece into the Molotov, Golden with an excellent little kill, but in the meantime, it's allowed for this push-up from Virtus.Pro. They cross from the staircase, they get into the sights of Automatic, who gets himself a second, dies to the flying Neo. But 15 seconds the difference, and the bomb's sure enough on his back. He needs to plant. And the peek from the CT spawn, off of Flusha will come in. He's unprepared for it. Isolates the kill. I like that from Neo. Tries to catch one off guard. And sure enough, he does it. But it's just a numbers game at the end of the day. And numbers are what Cloud9 still do not have. It's a 2-point deficit to Virtus.Pro's favor. But at least it's enough of the CT side that they can still get back this lead.
They're certainly looking like a whole lot smarter in these last couple of rounds. They've found an answer for the Virtus.Pro, who were just constantly abusing mid. And now they can kind of take that and run with it.
And it's also 2 rounds back-to-back now where we've seen Cloud9's secondary opper, be that Flusha at B or Automatic on A, get a multi-frag on the execution. So Skadoodle's initial mid-positioning, right, that star opper, that first bit of contact hasn't gotten much, but because they have this secondary opper floating, that's 2 important rounds that they've picked up off the back of it.
Interesting to see now what Virtus.Pro are going to do, since mid is not necessarily off the table, but maybe just for the meanwhile, while it's become a little bit more obvious, and because, you know, Cloud9 are going to expend more utility than normal, trying to stop you, maybe we try to change it up, shake things up, and go for a straight-up sight hit.
This one looks pretty straightforward. The old classic A execute. Skadoodle tries to get inside of the bomb site, will peek off the side of Triple Box, and he's still standing there. Not necessarily serving as a distraction. Mihu gets beneath Rush, his feet blasted off, and Skadoodle finally starting to come into the round. He's dealing the damage, but he just can't get a second kill. A single one from him. And Golden, with eyes over the staircase, catches the head of Morals. That's great, because a second one from him as well. The multi-kills are looking so good. Automatic finds fruition. Snatchy finds nothing, not even across to the bomb site. They take one to the chest, and Cloud9 close that gap with yet another.
Definitely looks like, Connor, that this is a game of abusing patterns, right? Like the fact that they are trying to target a Pasha at mid, and that every time they come out of A ramp, they're specifically looking for Rush almost every single time, you know, even throwing their opper on that one round to go up and try to like immediately op him in an unfavorable spot. That round, they just literally came out, sprayed under the balcony, and seemed confused about the fact that Rush wasn't there. Seemed so sure that he was going to end up in that position, and maybe that was one of their initial plans, was to, after they had that information, to leave A for a little bit, get Rush back into old habits, and then try to target him once again. That's something that we'd probably have to, you know, run by the team that wins potentially to see if that's actually what their line of thinking was, but it seems like a smart strat, and Rush wasn't under balcony, but he was on top of it, and they did target and take him out.
Yep. I think that this double op has been the key to Cloud9 nearly securing a state of on fire. They are 1 round away, filling the bar, and that 1 round began with a double op setup. From that point on, they have not lost a round. Flusha's going to be a little pressured here, but he lays down the fire, giving himself a bit of space to work with.
Yeah, this is huge. I mean, showing hesitation, being worried, but not getting too scared and actually falling off his spot.
And because of that, the T's get convinced to fall away. And now Skadoodle, over on A, has managed the frag towards Neo. They've been denied entrance on both extremities of the map, be that Apps and Palace. Finally, we see something go the way of Virtus.Pro, but it's only in the form of a frag versus Golden. The T's should still be boxed in. A duel happening in both jungle and ramp. And it looks like it's both going to go Cloud9's way. Blinding flashbangs. There you have it. Cloud9 now on fire.
On fire. Damn, I really want to watch that flick back. Skadaddy with the golf swing. A player crossing across apartments, and definitely one of the players that's been called into question the most. Maybe just overall on the team. And he had 0 kills in this game until maybe like 5 or 6 rounds, but with shots like that, you wonder how that even happened. You know, I don't know if it's a confidence thing or if he's just finally back into it, but first or second round of matches on day 1 of Blast, and teams are still getting warmed up. Situation now with mid control is that Cloud9 are not too pressed about it. Mihu sees an opportunity. Golden does not spot the shoulder as Mihu runs up into the site, but he might die to these flames as he gets tagged down and is hindered in his movement.
Whoa, he just loses 90% of his health to that one single incendiary. Sure, he gets the kill, which is great, but it has cost him a lot of health, and unfortunately for Virtus.Pro, they then lose the duel towards ramp. So now all you've gotten is a 4v4 scenario where Mihu sits on a sliver of health. But the head boosts go both ways, through the window and onto catwalk. They will spot nothing for the time being, because mid has been completely forfeited from Cloud9.
The 4-on-4, the ultra passive setups, and we're seeing these similar setups the way that Nip played it, where they don't move a lot. They talk a lot about what they're going to do in the 4v4, and they kind of stick to the game plan until somebody activates one of the Cloud9 players. Automatic will probably be that guy as he catches the cross onto the A site. It's going to be known from Virtus.Pro that this is what's happening, but it's incredibly hard to break a passive setup, especially when the numbers are a little bit lower.
Yeah, I think if you apply pressure towards apartments like what we're seeing right now, that's how you get Automatic out of that core anchored spot. You see him coming over towards bench now. So we're going to get the Colonel defense. First they give up middle, and now they have to give up the rotator in through jungle as well. It has to just be a solid hold from either side of the map, and it will be A in question. Rush immediately finds himself the second. Bomb confirms that this is the execution forward from Virtus.Pro, and they are running out of time, desperately trying to grasp onto this. It is only Mihu left, only 1 HP, and an 8th for Cloud9 to close it. The moment they get those double ops, it is 6 rounds straight.
Not even a need to try to kill after time, just last round of the half and an easy tag him back. That's it. They actually come out numerically ahead now, and we move into the second half with Cloud9 feeling confident and on fire, as you mentioned. It's been a very relevant thing to talk about, as we could see how the momentum has really played into the favor of the team that has made a comeback, or has just started off strong in the first place. A lot of pistol round options for Cloud9. I actually like a lot of what Virtus.Pro do, and I haven't seen a lot from Golden, who is obviously now the IGL for the team. It's like what he likes to try to pull off, but what I'm more interested in is what Virtus.Pro are going to do to start things off. Are they going to go for a double B push, or are they going to try to take mid control early on, which has become increasingly more powerful on the pistol rounds where teams don't have much utility to stop you, and USPs are afoot. 2 crossing a window. Cloud9 up a ramp.
Moral's first contact, sees a couple bodies, sees a couple smokes. And then you see the CT player just completely eject. I like that smoke. It lands on the staircase so that nobody can play on the other side of it, but a terrorist can jump from Tetris onto the top staircase and actually pry over. It's a nice little tidbit. So you saw the little bit of aggression. And now you're going to start to watch these kills. It's a head stack in spawn. This is so kerneled from Cloud9. A run boost even. They just throw him to his death. Flusha, last man up, P250 in hand, cannot tag Pasha. And we're already having this defuse come through under a blanket of smoke.
It was a nice attempt. They knew they had to get T control, and if you sit and hold your angle in expected spots, you'll almost always lose those duels. So even though they went for the tiny catapult a teammate into a bunch of CTs, there was actually some thought behind the madness, and it was just good aim that bailed Cloud9 out in that situation. That's the, ooh, that got hairy face.
That's the, ooh, I didn't expect to get run boosted into 3 counter-terrorists.
Yeah.
You get one guy, I think that actually goes well. But alas. We've got an auto shotty on the field. We've got rifles in mid. Nice shots from Pasha. He's running out of ammo now, so the sidearm swap 2. There's the 4th, not the 5th. Snatchy's gonna grab it.
Yeah, clean anti-eco. And mid-control was something that they use also on the pistol round. That was quite interesting because of the tempo that Cloud9 came out with the extreme A rush, or the really early A rush. It made it so that the fact that Virtus.Pro were going to get info in like 2 seconds didn't even matter. And I really like for CTs to go for mid-control at times, but a lot of the time it's very T-sided to take these angles, whether you're doing it dry or with utility, just because you have this high-low advantage. You're swinging on players who are out in the open. It's not a lot of utility in terms of cover for CTs to use when they want to try to defend aggressively, if you will. And now we've got 4 players congregated towards the A site. Neo up in the A ramp, looking for action. But he doesn't want to get too frisky. And he's actually kind of expendable in this round. He gets info early. He hopefully gets 1 kill. Maybe trades and does 30-40 damage. That's a successful round if it is going to be an A take. But how long will they stay in a situation where they are leaving 1 player on an island? Now, how much faith are they going to have that B will be held and that it's not going to be some contact flash play out? That we'll find out. Window completely evacuated.
Pasha's going to be very useful inside of the apartments, but what happens if he gets called back into the B site because of a catwalk push? What happens if he has to rotate through market and starts dueling over towards CT spawn? I mean, that weaponry is going to make him useless. So the only use that Pasha actually has is whether he can just kernel up and defend this B site from within it. And it doesn't look like that's going to be happening. It's inside connector. The T side does go. 3 frags straight for Virtus.Pro. And a couple more to come. They're being isolated and stagnated here inside connector. Snatchy just falling off angles, distracting for Mihu. It looks so pristine.
Distracting was the key word. You know, even Morals, who is inside of connector, like he gets his 1 kill, but immediately an op shot comes out behind him, and then that trend continues as nobody expects there to be a 3rd player in the A ramp of all places with 2 players dedicated on the site already. And that's a kill for Neo. You know, no questions asked, leaving Cloud9 bewildered and 2 rounds behind.
I love that once you see Snatchy get that first kill inside of connector, his attention immediately turns towards Palace. But once he sees that it is still smoked, that's what affords him this consistent connector control. That's why he's allowed to just give up his back, because he knows he has teammates there if he does get swarmed by the connector push, and the utility that they've thrown out completely limits what Cloud9 can do to him. So he was comfortable. Unlike Rush, just blown out of his seat, airbagged into the door frame. Neo gets ejected off CT spawn, and then Golden falls straight after. So despite only having pistols, there's still a little bit here for Cloud9 to play with. Maybe they get lucky and can find Mihu as well.
Oh my god. But Morals is here. The Zamboni on an ice rink. The cleanup crew.
Ooh. Give us one more. Just one more kill.
I set myself up for failure. I should have came through with the Zamboni at the end, I feel like, just the icing on the cake. Or the icing on the rink.
So that's even a play on words, too. That was it, man.
Yeah.
You know, we'll give you like 75 on that one.
Give me a few more rounds. I'll get it together. Virtus.Pro in prime position now to really like seal this one up. I feel like they called out Cloud9 with the 4A play on CT side. They ran a risk, and it feels like it's just like a game plan thing because they didn't have the information. It was the first rifle round of the half, so it seemed like they were going off a tendency, and Skadoodle actually hit that. Just enough damage to scare you a bit as you cross connector. I don't think he knows that there's a hurt player on A, but still, it might pay off if this round becomes close. Flusha working B like he did on the CT side, and alone like he always does. I would like to know what he can get out of this in a default, because we really haven't seen that from Cloud9 quite yet.
I think, again, the question mark will be this connector exit. How much further can you get? Because they haven't actually been able to cross to the bomb site from this play. They've been gunned down by the holds of the CTs, who now have gone and cleared ramp, so you're going to get that attention turned back towards middle. Mihu's still in a prime spot. They're going to go for the boost, but oh, it gets completely rejected. Rush, staying true to his name, just flies around the corner. They are caught with their pants down and around their ankles. Mohan, they tripped up, and they were pushed over. 5 versus 3 after plant. This is a save.
There was soap on the floor and they were tempted. We've all been there.
Quite literally.
Quite literally. That was a matter of timing, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You know, they caught completely off guard, but it was because they had the assumption that maybe if we boost one up on bricks, we get a kill from Cat, and you can fall off really easily from that position. So it's not like a one and done spot, but Cloud9 just, I guess, were just decisive enough and fortunate enough to just like get there right when they were in the middle of it. And now looking for exit frags is obviously kind of tempting, but it's Cloud9 who are still on the back foot. So they, I guess, want to be careful about how they approach that. Don't want to risk getting opt, for example. That would be a huge waste, but yeah, there it is. What are you supposed to do if you're Mihu? That's how we should be showing gamer face on stream. I feel like we've all been there too.
Yeah, when there's suddenly 2 players around a corner. And Mihu underneath as well, not even looking for the cat push. His back quite literally turned.
Yeah, I think he had an angle to just at least like hold on to apps for a second a little bit.
Yeah. Just not, again, expecting that. Timing, the name of the game in the previous round. Ooh, misflick shot from Snatchy. Looked close.
It did really look close for some reason.
But this is a really fast one. Cloud9 going into that mid-control that we've seen from them, but doing it so much faster than in previous rounds. And it looks like they could just continue with this pacing.
It seemed like a split second there where they almost changed their minds, but they're back in the connector, and they're letting it sit for a second. I really appreciate this. You know, Rush can move, and he is low, and he was getting spammed and probably would have died if he stayed. But overall, they can kind of sit and wait just a little bit. They've still got an op. They've got plenty of time, and they have so much map control. This is the best R2 round you could ask for.
I feel like Skadoodle is anticipating this peak because Neo dinked somebody through the wooden window, which means they're gonna be tempted to do exactly that, but they're not supposed to blast him back. Skadoodle's not supposed to have his forehead sprung wide open.
Oh, man. Pasha's here looking for the crazy flick, potentially. But no challenger has arrived.
And that's heard. Neo definitely gets wind of this proximity. It's confirmed by the flashbang. Virtus.Pro have been put into a fantastic spot because of Neo, and now Pasha with him. The vets of Virtus.Pro winning a round, I would argue, that all of a sudden looked like Cloud9 were about to take it, and that's not a good look for Cloud9. That is, again, a reset.
Yeah, and Pasha's looking super strong. He's, you know, leading in frags, and he's had variable impact throughout these rounds. This one was nice. Oh my goodness. Looks so much faster from Skadoodle's perspective, but that's the advantage of peeking first, obviously.
It looks like Skadoodle's bullet actually careens just off of the metal portion of the box in front of him. So.
Oh, you think he actually took that shot? Oh.
I thought a shot happened there. I could be very well wrong. But this one, I don't think I am wrong, is going to be the A hit. This is super straightforward from Cloud9. They're already just pummeling their way out from ramp. Snatchy's going to miss what could have been a key shot. Would have established a 5 versus 4. Snatchy just then hits the floor. Golden, beautiful, right through the smoke. And a bomb plant off the back of it. We just talked about how Cloud9 were about to eat a reset. I love the fact that they come into this round, one that they should most certainly win, one that you'd think would create an aura of caution, and yet they come in guns a-blazing. The trail set on fire as they flooded forward. Now, it's the CTs back into the site that they once owned. Neo with a kill, sure, but the trade frags are looking fantastic. It does fall onto Rush, and it is Miku on the other side. A 2K for Miku already established. He's gonna jump up. It's confirmed and killed. The defuse is his, and VP win the retake.
Just barely. If Mihu had not finished that frag with that headshot wallbang through a very dense box, I don't think there was any chance he would even be able to defuse that, even if he got the kill on Rush.
Even just going for that jump peek to confirm the player cowering in the corner, I mean, Rush is given a chance at the kill right there. But then he wins the duel. His feet hit the ground, and he hits the shot.
That's such an important round. Like, we look at that as a round that Cloud9 they had in spades. In the previous round, I mean, they had the 5v3, and Virtus.Pro won it. Okay, they came back with the same ferocity, and they came out on the A site, and they fragged, they got the bomb down, they had plenty of time left, and it came down to literally the last few moments. But at this point, Cloud9 are almost out of chances. Virtus.Pro seal up a key one, and now are up on the double op setup once again. It's not getting any easier. There's even the thought that Cloud9 are saving here, which is just a travesty, honestly.
Yeah,
considering
because
how close they came.
the win in the previous round would have been the reverse reset, right? And then we're looking at a smashed economy for Virtus.Pro. We're looking at Cloud9 on double digits and only 2 points away. That one round just now, that was pinnacle. That was a pinnacle retake for Virtus.Pro. And they looked confident in their retake attempt as well. 3 guys just flying up through CT. The trade frag so back and forth. For a moment, you know, you're kind of left bewildered. You don't know how many players are still left up until it's clear it's 1v1 and the tone and the tempo changes.
From here they must develop. Mac-10 out into the B site. It's a story cut short. Neo just clotheslines him, trying to get too aggro.
Now they've probably heard the footsteps come past. Neo caught in the open, actually. Mihu's unable to support that initial peek, and now Mihu as well is kind of standing in no man's land. Flusha with a very important push towards the marketplace. This puts things in question, and now he gets confirmation that Snatchy is also here. But the op, it is so tantalizingly close. He can taste it.
I think he was spotted there too. Wow.
And then he wins the duel. Beautiful opping from Flusha. Again, not the first time we've seen it here on Mirage. This is a saving grace. This is the sort of round Cloud9 had no business winning. And it's not one that puts them in the driver's seat, but it's one that does keep them on the road.
It totally saves their economy too. And now Morals is kind of running away. Cloud9 want this kill, but they've got to go up against... You know what? How much money do Virtus.Pro actually have? They think next round there's a small chance they don't even buy. Wow, that's more than a critical eco round at this point. This could kind of push Cloud9 almost back into tying up. Barring one more rifle, I mean, at that point, it's anyone's game. So as you can see, firepower is definitely in the favor of Cloud9. And Virtus.Pro are investing somewhat, however. So
this is the scenario they could have afforded had they won that gun round in the previous.
Yeah, this is a Gohan with one arm versus Piccolo. Please tell me you watch Dragon Ball Z.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, that fight's still that's still a harder fight than like Krillin. I was waiting for the Krillin reference.
All right, yeah. Freeze up next.
In the next episode. Quick kill. Goodbye, Morals. Nice little peek from the underpass. Whoa, boy. Rush is actually going to fall. That could be an easy upgrade. Neo does land the jump, and that could put him in position fast enough to try and contest at B, but nope. He'll fall back right into the lying weight of automatic.
Oh, it's making a lot of noise. Pasha's certainly going to cap that one. Yeah, no problem. Snatch it here, the most popular place to hold on to B if you're all alone. With Pasha to watch the cross as well, it could get interesting.
Can't land his pistol shots. He will be given the back of the bomb planter. But Flusha cleans up both. Flusha definitely finding his impact here in the first game with Cloud9.
Yeah, very true.
Or second.
Second, actually. Yeah, I don't know how well he did in that previous match, but still a lot more to show. Obviously, you know, first game back, don't want to take too much from that. But yeah, they get those 2 kills on the B side, which they were both sitting on, which Cloud9 would have totally avoided if they knew they were there. And suddenly it's a 2-on-1 for Virtus.Pro, so they can pray to the floosh. Those 2 frags. And now another save for Virtus.Pro. Full on this time. Neo with a couple of flashbangs. Seems like, do they want to set up for a mid push? Not entirely sure what the plan is, or if he just bought these because he had some money lying around. One goes out, and there it is.
Hits the mark. Even Rush is blinded over towards Catwalk. So sure enough, 1 pistol kill, but it is just then shut down and slaughtered. They line up for it as well. Pasha. Okay.
Discount Gold Zera.
And not going to end in the same result. This is not a crushing blow for Cloud9. This is just a little technicality, a cost.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. Cloud9 looking focused now. And with keeping 3 alive, it's going to do good for their economy, just about as good as it did from last round. Nice pistol round overall. I think if Virtus.Pro expected for mid presence to be taken, that a top connector smoke was going to be thrown. That's exactly where they wanted to throw the flash. And so it was probably better that they encouraged someone to try to come up and get this piece of map control for seemingly free. only to throw a surprise flash in their face.
Remember, of course, that in the first half, Cloud9 only won 2 of the first 9 rounds, and then still finished with that spree of 6. In this half, they get 3 of the first 9, 2 of which they're already sitting on, this most recent being a 3rd in a row now. So it's mirrored instances whereby Virtus.Pro are coming out hot. Nice angle, but not enough, just as of yet.
Yeah, and this is where Cloud9 need to take a deep breath, because they did their part winning the eco. They sealed up a couple of anti-ecos after that, but they haven't done a lot in terms of rifle rounds so far. Virtus.Pro should still feel very confident. And here's Morels kind of patrolling the A site from position to position. He's actually got 2 teammates playing up close, so they get this info early, and they have info on B. They've got too much info.
What do you do with it? Spread your numbers thin. Pasha completely untradeable here. Flash comes inwards. Ooh, and it's Golden who goes down. Pasha even gets his gun back up. Second frag is his. Superb. And a deep smoke on top of it. Ooh. He's playing with fire. Skadoodle's over there. But this is big, right? You've got a feeler on each side of the map. It was either ramp or apps. And Virtus.Pro, thanks to Pasha, not only picking up a 5v4, but a 5v3.
Typically, it's overly risky to try to push both sides of the map at once, but you kind of do have to keep it fresh every time you try something, and they weren't all the way pushed up A ramp, so they were just playing A slightly aggressively, but Pasha absolutely needed to be traded there, and he clearly didn't make it easy. He's only lost 25 health so far. Instant headshot on Flusha, who came in right after. Now Rush doing his rounds at A. He's going to peer into the window, just barely passing Snatchy.
I love this. I love the way that they've managed to work themselves up through connector. I mean, this puts it all on Morels, and down he's dropped. Automatic could hit this with a second headshot. It's just Snatchy, and sure enough, blink and you miss it. Cloud9 from a 3 versus 5 now have a man advantage in the after plant. This deep into the game as well. This would be the round that ties things up. Fighting off the back foot, despite Pasha's best efforts, but Pasha himself not yet down. I spoke too soon. He is, of course, the next casualty. Automatic gets 3, Skadoodle the last. How have they managed that?
That was a beautiful play in those last few seconds where they had Automatic posted in a position where he can't fall back and not be exposed to connector, so he's going to take a fight in CT, but he clearly signals for his teammate to flash after he does a couple of very clean shoulder peeks right here. The flash comes out perfectly. Pasha's blind for the full 4 seconds, and he even has time to peek out after not immediately seeing his opponent, leaving Virtus.Pro totally confused.
You're seeing the frustration actually come out of VP here. Emotional animations. Both Morals and Neo now. Big pistol clash up at mid. Rush tries to bail them out, but this is 3 frags on just a straight up mid rush, bomb included. Flusha's footing not yet good enough to deal with it. But Golden cuts it into the 2v2. Look at your radar. Everybody creating a box right now. Coming in from different angles. And now the dust settles towards mid.
Fnatic versus Virtus.Pro. 2v2. What happens now? So Golden, it's Flusha communicates that he is going to, he's probably going to tell Golden to wait while he seeks out his options. He's making his way around through a big rotate because it's the least scary, and it opens up options for later in the round, least expected spots to come from, and they have the time to do it. Ooh, he makes noise. What's the play here? Wants to pull attention away from the bomb, but Golden's not in position to actually do anything about it. Now, they're still trying to coordinate here, and it seems like they're going to coalesce at mid in just a few seconds. Bomb's still out of reach, and they don't know where the CTs are. Golden comes out wide on an angle. Mihu's just a little bit more ready.
And Flusha now knows he can trade to the player on the top of the box, but 25 seconds, not enough time, and he doesn't spot Morals. So Virtus.Pro pick it up, and for those of you that just joined us in that 2v2 from the secondary stream, that was completely pistols from Virtus.Pro. A 5-man mid-rush after being crushed economically by Cloud9. Like, what a way to swing it around. They throw a 5 versus 3, Cloud9 get the best of it, and then they go for the pistol rush and manage one back. I mean, this is just a blow-for-blow type boxing match right now.
Yeah, it's an absolute haymaker, and they did it. Just a series of P250 kills all out at mid, 3-4 seconds into the hit, and it was just going to be a default for Cloud9. They thought they had all the space in the world. They thought they had 20 more seconds before anything crazy happened. And it was a great time for Virtus.Pro to act. They had a very successful eco in the past doing a similar play. And we're right about the fact that they could get away with it one more time. Cloud9 gone right back to the well. Into mid, taking control of it. And Virtus.Pro have just totally avoided anybody here. This setup has a ton of holes. I mean, there's nobody in window to watch window itself or anybody crossing window. This B player could get totally lurked upon. The Cloud9 or Virtus.Pro are just assuming they wouldn't try that right now. But it's on Cloud9 to find that information and act on it.
Morels is not going to go anywhere. Even despite having a player pushing up into ramp, he needs to keep eyes on connector. Here come the kills. It's going to be 2 for Virtus.Pro before it's traded. Pasha revealed, has to deal with a lot of pressure, and he's running out of bullets. But he's got support from Market. That's Snatchy trying to find an angle. The A duel was won by Cloud9, so we are even 3v3, and Ska has landed the next one. Snatchy's could hit this collateral, but a great flashbang. Sure enough, they know he's there, but they can't deal with him? How is he still up? How is Snatchy doing this? He's cut it down to the 1v1. It's Skadoodle now up versus Neo. 20 seconds to plant, and he's not going to suspect the flank, so VP take 15.
In amazing fashion, too. What a way to do it. That's unreal. That was such a great take from Cloud9. I feel like in those last couple of flashes that we saw, and wow, what a flick from Snatchy, who just, even though got completely blindsided and put out of position and fully flashed, still got the 2 kills that were incredibly necessary to make that flank so much stronger in the 1v1. So we're now on round 29 for Cloud9. We've still got a chance to bring this to OT. This game is far from over as far as I'm concerned, but the main problem now is that they just don't have that many guns to work with. They've got a fair bit of utility, and Golden's here, who has also gained some information. Didn't even suspect that anybody pushed through this smoke and is actually going to use this opportunity to push it himself.
This has been
Danger.
heard, though. 100% heard. Off the frag, turns his shoulder, and then Mihu gets the best of him on the peak. That's 2 simultaneous frags now, fighting off the back foot. Cloud9 facing what would be their 2nd loss already tonight. But we have also watched them win 3v5s. This one's not looking as good. Flusha barely hanging on to his life. It has been taken, and as has this round. Skadoodle alone will fall, and Virtus.Pro picking up their win. Great starts to both of those halves. It almost seemed like an inevitability that VP